Years ago, one of my first jobs out of college was a sales job. The owner of the company had come to speak at an entrepreneurship lecture series at the school I was attending. And he was dynamic. And I thought, man, if I could only present like him, if I could only do what he does. And I thought I should go talk to him. But guess what? I didn't. So what did I do? I ended up going into retail, making less than $10 an hour with a college degree. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to work my way up the chain like I did in the restaurant and the fast food industry as a teenager. I didn't understand the things of this world. I didn't understand the ways about making money. I didn't understand the power of status and all these different things. But I will tell you this, God is in charge and he has a way to prepare you to take on new things and to advance your life. And as a retailer, I remember that one day an employee from this company wearing the badge of that company comes through my line, and she happened to be in the HR department. I found out through conversation, and I was the cashier. And I inquired about that particular owner and asked if they were hiring. She did a triple look at me, and she's like, actually, we are. And I was like, sweet. And lo and behold, I end up getting the job. The vice president of sales takes me on under his wing, teaches me the ropes, teaches me the ways. And one of the tests I had to do was memorize an 8-minute script before I could get the job. And I did it and I nailed it. And within a week or so, I was training people and it was awesome. It was amazing. I loved it. I then started to understand, wow, this is how people afford to drive Escalades. When you make over $1,000 in one day of sales, that's how it happens. Wow. So I'm telling this backstory to emphasize a point here. This wise VP taught me a phrase that I'm sure he borrowed from someone else, something to the effect like this. When you light yourself on fire, people will come from miles and miles just to watch you burn. And that has stuck with me through the years. Nevertheless, due to mental illness and what society tells me and the stigma associated with that, I have held myself back. I have cowered in the presence of society because of my baggage. And enough is enough. For 30 years, I have been in this state of a bamboo seed. I've been growing and growing and growing, looking for the right thing, looking for a way to break free. And I finally found it. I'm super fired up and super jazzed about this. And it's a way to transform not only my life, but others' lives so that we can work from home, so that we can make an impact on the pearls in our own home. And then we can make a difference in the world because we're doing that which matters first. Taking accountability for who you are, what you know, learning more, giving what you know, and receiving more. It's keyword here is more. If you ever say, I have enough, then that which was given to you will be plucked away, be taken away because you have enough. Just like the parable where the person with one talent hid it, he thought he had enough, but that's not how it works. You've got to give more. You've got to multiply. You've got to grow. You've got to get off the fence and do the work, as Stephen Pressfield puts it in a fine book. So I got to give a little backdrop here. So when you light yourself on fire and people come from miles and miles to watch you burn, the idea is that you're teaching and living in a manner that's in line with God. It's not about, look at me. It's not about, I've got this amazing voice. It's not about that. It's about being in square with him and knowing that you're square with him and having peace in your heart, in your mind, and getting lost in the service of other people. And when you do that, they feel the fire because you're filled with enthusiasm, which is God within you. God is in you. Will you let him out? Will you serve other people? Will you discover develop and disseminate your talents to the world. When you do, when you make that decision, let's talk. Let's get to work. Let's start marketing digitally online and make a difference in people's lives. Folks, no matter who you are or where you are, if you are in square with the Lord, now is the time to take action. Now is the time to make a difference in the world. Stop cowering behind thinking, what will people think? Be the light that you are. Don't hide your candle under the bushel. Shine forth. Bring good news to your neighbor, to your loved ones, and most importantly, serve your family. So when you do this, when you have this fire, it ignites and it spreads forth, and people will come from miles and miles to watch you burn. And at the end of the day, I remember he warned me that this would happen. And he said that when you teach truth, even though you're selling XYZ product, when you teach truth about it and you teach it with fire, people will ask you, are you a preacher? What church do you represent? Who are you? Because you're square with the Lord. When you are square with the Lord, people will inquire of you. Who are you? Why are you different? And I promise you, when that moment comes, speak truth. Don't brush it off and say, oh, well, I kind of, I kind of did this, and I read my scriptures and I say my prayers. If that's what's helping you be on fire, is the deep work. Excellent book by Cal Newport, by the way. When you do the deep work of saying those prayers, studying and feasting upon those words, then you are filled with power, real power, because you know God's ways and you know his thoughts, and it impacts you. And when people see that in you, you don't need to speak little about it, and you don't need to boast about it, because it's not about you. It's your God that you boast in. It is your God who has given you and will give you all things. When you humbly come before him, he'll show you your weakness, and line upon line, he'll help you make it a strength. I know this to be true, and it's spiritually uplifting and edifying, and will transform you, every whit of you. Thanks for joining.